viewers, welcome to your favorite TV show, Voice of Eve Capacity Building. Today we'll be dealing with a very interesting topic. It's titled, Empowering the Nigerian Woman as a Tool for Rebranding Motherhood. I'm your host for today, Favor Joseph. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If our government can empower women, we will discover that the poverty itself, it will eradicate poverty. It will eradicate poverty and it will make things to go fine in our country. Because I believe one thing, what man can do, women can do it as well.
Yes, sometimes some women become stubborn because they feel they are now independent. Some are still submissive, and some can just transfer the same skill to their daughters. If they have a female children, they can still transfer the same thing. I've seen that too.
Yes, and apart from the fact that you are being empowered by whatever that you do, your husband is in support of what you do. But sometimes we should not take that for granted. You should be humble to your husband and also be there for your children. It won't affect your children, and you can still do what you are doing by being good, showing good example to the society.
Okay, so you're Welcome back, viewers. We're still on the topic, empowering the Nigerian woman as a tool to rebranding motherhood. Empowerment is all about giving confidence to a woman. It's all about them having total control over whatever they want to do. Now, as you know, our mothers of old didn't have such opportunity. They were married to their husbands, and they were more of housewives, they were more of caretakers, they were more of homemakers, and they didn't even have the confidence to speak up. But we are going to discuss further on this topic to see how empowerment has changed the whole situation, or how empowerment can change the whole situation whereby our mothers can now become rebranded. Discussing this topic with me is one of our favorites and wonderful and consistent guests. She is Mrs. Uche Chukwekezie, a founder of an NGO who is involved in bridging the gap between academics and purpose. Mrs. Chukwekezie, you're welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Can you just tell us briefly about what your NGO does?
My NGO, just like you introduced, we bridge the gap between academics and purpose. That is, we run self-discovery campaign. We've come to discover that beyond academics, there is something called life. Academics, one gaining education, or one having academics, maybe going to school, does not really give life that way. But there's some we are individuals and personalities. So we help people discover and run courses in line with who they are. You see people that have flair for, let me say, for numbers, and you see them studying something like law, which is not supposed to be. So what we try to do is to encourage people, enlighten people on self-discovery, so that especially the young ones going into the university, that as you are going into the university, you study courses that you have flair for. Not just, okay, this is what JAMB gave me, or I must go to the university. After one has graduated, he or she is left with nothing, because naturally he or she didn't study courses that has to do with them.
We can relate what you have said to today's topic, empowerment, since we're talking about rebranding motherhood through empowerment.
Okay.
So what do you understand by empowerment?
Well, for me, empowerment is one being in control, one having value, adding value, one being better than what you used to be, or what we know you to be. So when you are empowered, you come out better than who you used to be.
So would you say there is a comparison between the motherhood of old and motherhood of now with regards to empowerment?
For me, I wouldn't say that, because the motherhood of the old and the modern motherhood we have now, they are two different.
How is it different?
It's different because the motherhood of old do not have what the motherhood of today has. The motherhood of old just get married. Even when they are not of marriageable age, they are giving out to husbands. Then when they do not even understand what marriage means, unlike now, when they do not understand what marriage means, they just get married. They just believe that that's the next thing to do. Of old, the marriage was seen to be an achievement, which is different from what we have now. Everybody has come to understand now that marriage is responsibility. Beyond its being achievement like they used to think of old. Of old, just give birth, get married, give birth, stay in the house, take care of the children. Do not even understand the children, do not even know what to give to the children. But fortunately and unfortunately, some still escaped and turned outright, unlike what we have now. Now we have a lot of things contending with parenting, contending with motherhood, that makes it impossible for mothers to really be mothers as it should if they are not empowered. Mothers need to be empowered now, financially, intellectually, and otherwise, because we have so many things competing with motherhood now, that if mothers are not empowered, they won't be able to deliver.
That's a good one.
So it's just two different scenarios.
So what do we say of a lady or a woman who is married, in terms maybe she's like, will I say, half illiterate? Probably she went to school and stopped at her GSS level, or she stopped at secondary school level, and she had the privilege of marrying a very wealthy man who provides everything she wants, but just remain a housewife, take care of the children. Would you say that kind of woman is empowered?
Well, empowerment varies. We can be empowered educationally, financially, and for her, she might have empowerment. We might say, okay, she's empowered financially, but the truth remains, she wouldn't even be able to use that money well if she is not intellectually empowered, if she's not socially empowered, if she's not educationally empowered. So empowerment goes beyond having money to spend. So for such individual, she's not empowered.
She's not empowered.
She is not.
Now, the government, so far, we must have been aware of the programs they've been running, trying to empower, in quotes, our traders, our mothers, our women who have been in the market. I can't recall the name, it's Trader Money or something, where they've been giving out 10,000 naira to traders, and where you use it to a certain time and you pay back, you get 15,000 naira. Now, would you call that empowerment? And if it is empowerment, do you think it is adequate?
Okay. Kudos to our governments. They are doing well, at least averagely. At least for them to have remembered that we need to empower. Even though, like we said, is in quotes, it's not really, because what would 10,000 do? But we want to say thank you first, hoping that we'll get better. They will get better. 10,000 cannot really, when a woman buys biscuits or the petty trades with 10,000 and the children eat out of it, what will remain? So for me, I think the government need to step up their game and do better, if really they want to empower our women.
So in what way now do you think the government should step up that way?
For me, I think beyond even giving money, I think government should step up empowering women with education first. Because until you know what to do when money is given to you, you will not, that money will not produce. So you need to know what to do first. Fine, some people will say, oh, some people didn't go to school, but they are doing well. But then they had formal educations. Education can be formal or can be informal. So for anyone that you say, okay, this person didn't attend, maybe didn't go to the university or whatever, and is doing well, that person must have subjected herself, his or herself, into informal education. And the person must have been able to have upgraded herself to be able to produce. So for me, I think the first thing is educate us, educate women, get women educated as it should before we cannot think of it. It's because a lot of them are not educated. That's why you give them 10,000, they are jumping. What would they do with 10,000? But because they see it as at last. But when we look at it, they are unable to produce because it's not anything. It's not going anywhere. So I think first and foremost, government should look at educating women.
Okay.
One. Secondly, look at giving them reasonable money. 10,000 is not money.
10,000 is not enough money.
It's not enough money at all.
Okay. Empowerment comprises of certain areas because, of course, you talked about money, and there seems to be financial empowerment. You also talked about them also educating, which we'll call it educational empowerment. Now, there are also psychological empowerment, you know, and political empowerment and economic empowerment. Now, there are various kinds of empowerment. Are we saying now that these empowerment types of empowerment, is it proper, or should a woman have enlightenment or training in all of them? Should our Nigerian women be equipped in all? Is all necessary for us to have, or we could just be okay with the financial empowerment, or just be okay with the educational empowerment? Because of course you have the education, you will now have the idea of knowing what to do and how to go about it. Where does political, where does social, where does psychological come in? Because there are instances where there are women who live with men who are depressed, who get maltreated by their husbands, you know, because they didn't go to school. You know, they can't talk. Especially it's common in the northern area, where you see that the woman is just there at home raising the children. She can't even come out. She can't even appear. So what kind of empowerment do you think is adequate for her? So that's why I say, do you think all of them is necessary for a woman to have?
Well, for me, every form of empowerment is necessary for a woman to have. Every form. I don't really see... A man is a human, just like a woman is a human. So why will a man get unnecessary empowerment and the woman wouldn't get? I think it's a misplaced priority in this side of the world. Everybody, every woman requires every form of empowerment. Every form of empowerment. If I am empowered, I will be a better woman to my husband and my children.
That's true.
And if I am not empowered, I will be depriving my children and my husband. So, and then I will be useless for the society at large if I am not empowered. So, if a woman is empowered, beyond her family, the society gets to enjoy it. The nation gets to be proud of the woman. Then the empowerment of women adds to the growth of the company, of the nation. If a woman is empowered, because of women makeup, we are easy influencers. If I am empowered socially, it is easy for me to influence the people around me. And if I am not, then it is also easy for me to not to have influence as I should in the society. So women empowerment goes beyond our family. It goes beyond our family. If a woman is empowered, like there is a saying that send one to school, open the door of education, you have closed the door of prison. So the same way, if women are empowered, a lot of things that shouldn't be are kept or are salvaged.
That's a good one you have raised. Now, psychological empowerment, don't you think it will play a very great role to women who are undergoing violence, who are undergoing abuse in the society, in the workplace, even in marriage? You know, because it's a trending issue now where women are being harassed, abused, downgraded, or even slapped. But the issue of, you know, psychological empowerment, don't you think that it will make the woman become aware of herself, that she has rights, that she could not be downtrodden, that she could also, you know, have equal rights in the workplace as the man, or have equal pay. And even to the women in the north, what kind of empowerment do you think they will need?
Just like you have said, and then I mentioned earlier,
Yes.
that a man is a human, just like
Yes.
a woman is a human. So that men go through psychological empowerment, women as well need it. Just like you mentioned, especially those in the north, they need that psychological empowerment. They need intellectual empowerment.
Yes.
Because a woman can decide to sit at home, not do anything, because that is how far she can see. But when women are brought out, especially those in the north, to tell them you can do better, you can be better person than whom you are. They are empowered socially, intellectually, academically. They understand. Their eyes, their understanding is open to a lot of that. You can add value. You can be a better person than you are. Before you know it, you see a changed person, and they become better than whoever they might have been, sitting at home and just cooking and taking care of the children. The truth be that now you can't even take care of the children well if you are not empowered. We have internet and so many things competing with motherhood. So if I am not informed, how do I take care of a child?
That's true.
So for them to be able to do that motherhood role, play the motherhood role well, every woman needs to be empowered.
Okay. So that brings me to my next question. A mother being empowered, does it mean that she's a bossy woman? Does it mean that she now becomes disrespectful? Does it mean that she becomes a woman that has ego? She won't respect her husband anymore. She won't submit to her husband anymore just because she's empowered?
No, the woman is empowered, but I think that's some people's fear that, oh, if my wife goes out, that's why you can see some. I used to have a colleague that she was doing well when she got married, and her husband said, "Don't work again," because the man is insecure. That's just it. That the woman is empowered should be to the benefit of the woman, and not the otherwise. Like people will say, okay, if she now has money. When the woman has money, it's the family money. So the woman is empowered, does not and should not remove the place of submission, remove the place of being a woman, remove the place of being a wife. In fact, that should make the woman a better woman, a better mother, and a better wife, because she has a better understanding now.
That's a good one. So do you think that there should be clauses in our law, or do you think that the government should pass a law to encourage empowerment of mothers, wives, women, and the female child?
Okay, you mean a law that
yes,
every woman must be empowered?
Yes.
I think that would be a nice one. That would be a nice one. If we can have something like that, it would be a nice one. At least it will help change our mentality, our mindset. It will help rearrange and reset our mind that women are not inferior. And empowering women can help us have better family, better society, and better nation.
That's good. So what do you think are the advantages or benefits of empowering the Nigerian woman?
So many. If Nigerian women are empowered, we have better children raised from the family. We have presently we have better children more than what we have right now in the society, because it is what I know that I will pass down. So if I'm empowered in every area that I'm empowered, it will be easy for me to pass it down to my children. But if not, I will raise empty children.
Empty children.
Empty children. So if I am empowered, I will raise better children. And my better children will influence the society.
That's a good one. So are we saying now that the increase in crime rate among the youths, the moral decadence, the juvenile delinquencies, all the errors, will I say, of the youths, all the negative characters that we're experiencing now is as a result of non-enlightenment of empowerment? Is that what you're saying?
It has a role. That's the truth. Empowerment has a role to play because, like I said earlier, a parent will only give what he or she has.
Okay.
So if a parent do not have it, the children will pick outside. And whatever they pick is what they will exhibit. Like some families, they will, we don't do this in our family. How did you get here? How did we get here? Fine, you can always ask that question. Because that child was empty. And life afforded vacuum. So if a child is empty, something has to fill that child. So the child will have to go to the internet, go outside, and pick things to fill his or her life. So when we have so many vices right now, everywhere. For me, when I have opportunity, because of what I do, I get to meet a lot of parents. When I have opportunity, I tell people, I say parenting is learned now. It's different from what we used to have.
Yes.
Where you can just sit down and you expect that your children will grow. For me, I used to, I can't really remember when growing up, when my mom called me and sat me down and said, don't do this, don't do that. Unfortunately for me, that's the type of mother I have. She just believed that you turn out right. But I can't do that now. I can't sit down and believe that my children will turn out right. Hey, it will be, in fact, it will be the worst thing I would have done to myself. So you learn how to parent the 21st century children now. It's learned because of so many things competing with parenting.
Okay, let's go to the Niger Delta area. There has been several issues of, protests, youths carrying arms and all that as a result of poverty, deprivation. They have not been privileged. Now, will you say that poverty plays a role in bringing out these vices in those youths? Because some of them, their mothers are poor. Like you said, if the mothers or they are empowered, they'll be able to bring about good children. Can we say poverty plays a role in these vices that come from that area? Well,
poverty has its role, but before poverty is not really lack of money, lack of financial, lack of cash.
Funds,
poverty is a thing of the mind. Poverty is a, but when people are empowered, their mind is empowered. Their minds are empowered. And when my mind is empowered, it helped me to know that I don't have to steal to make ends meet. I don't have to kidnap to make ends meet. There are so many things I can do to make ends meet. So for me, for that Niger Delta stuff, it's just because their minds are having issues, not because there is no cash for them to spend. Okay.
So lastly, because of our time, would you say that apart from the government, there are other people who also be involved in empowerment?
Yes, the family should be involved in empowerment. The family should not, there shouldn't be discrimination. The girl children shouldn't go to school while the boy children should go. So the first and foremost is the family, the church, the NGOs and government at large. Everyone should just wake up to empowerment.
Okay, that's a good one. One word for mothers out there who are not empowered, who are just staying idle, sitting at home doing nothing.
Okay, mothers out there, you are doing a great job, but we need to do better. We need to do better if we want to raise better children and we want to compete in the global world. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Chukwuekezie. It was nice having you on our show, and we hope you will see you again some other time.
Thank you.
Thank you, viewers. I hope you all heard what our guests have said today. And our government, you need to do more regarding empowering our women so that our mothers could become rebranded. Because this has a resultant effect on the youths and the children we raise, who are the futures of tomorrow. Thank you very much, viewers, for watching. Hope to see you again next time. Bye.